They had basketball last night. Auburn, fourth win in a row on the hardwood. They come from 14 down to knock off Texas in Neville Arena. Next up, the Tigers travel to Knoxville to take on Tennessee this weekend. We got Rodney Orr, Tiger Insider, coming up. We'll talk Charles Bediako, what Kalen DeBoer had to say as he put a bow on the transfer portal and coaching moves as well. But always want to tell you about Mandu. Mandu is in downtown Homewood. It's just a great place. Love technology. In most cases, we all love technology, and it's made it really easy for you, an efficient way to trim the fat, to get the fat gone. Just get rid of the fat and build muscle, or maybe just feel better. You want to build up endurance, you can do it with Mandu. It's the first FDA-approved electrical muscle stimulation fitness. The EMS technology, 15-minute workout at Mandu is the equivalent to 6 hours in a gym. It works. Your first visit's free. They will put you through the workout. You decide if it's right for you. No obligation, no fine print. Mandu in downtown Homewood, MANDUU.com. Always tell them Landrum from Jock sent you.
He joins us each and every Thursday on the program, talk Alabama athletics. Rodney Orr from Tiger Insider on the Higginbotham Hotline joins us now. Rodney, I hope you're doing well. Kalen DeBoer yesterday, first time we've been able to hear anything from Kalen DeBoer since the transfer portal officially closed, talking about his offensive line switch. Anything that you saw or read in regards to his comments, did anything really stick out to you in regards to what Kalen DeBoer had to say about the portal?
Well, I mean, he seemed pretty positive, actually, I thought. I mean, he felt like they fulfilled some of the needs that they were really prioritizing, and sounded positive and upbeat about that. And, also the offensive line coach and what went into that and that decision and how it went down. But it just seemed to be really positive, I thought, about the additions that they've had through the portal.
Rodney, we know what Kalen DeBoer had to say about it, and not asking you to speak for Kalen DeBoer, but in your mind with Coach Cap being removed, was that more of a, hey, the Bucs got to stop somewhere, the optics of it all, just removing him? How much of the lack of success do you put on Coach Cap?
Yeah, I think it's probably a combination of things, really. I think that again, I don't know what all the details, but I think, some of the things I've read that actually sounded like they came directly from Coach Cap, to be quite honest with you, was that he didn't feel like, paraphrasing, that he didn't seem to feel like he had control over the offensive line in terms of the starting lineup, the rotation that they had, and all of those things. I'm not saying that's unusual. I mean, I think, when Nick Saban was here, certainly he made all the calls up front for the most part. But it seemed to me, it struck me that maybe Cap felt like he didn't have the full control over the offensive line maybe as much as he would have wanted to. But, I do think, too, talking to people very close to the offensive line room, I think there was an issue there with relating to the players. I don't think that they were on the same page with Coach Cap. And again, not saying all of them, but there was a number of those guys in the starting lineup that I felt like they just didn't relate well to him and did not to his teaching. So I think that was an issue.
Rodney, in regards to the running back room, they swung and missed on Hollywood Smothers. It goes without saying, you got a five-star coming in Crowell, and Landrum's called his games. He called it during the state championship, and Landrum says based on what he saw, he's got it. I mean, he's got it factor in regards to his early ability to contribute to this team in the fall. You've covered recruiting for a long time. I'm not asking you to compare and contrast Crowell, but in regards to his skill set, does he remind you of anybody from years gone by from the running back position?
Really, to be honest with you, I like to see them here first before I can really draw a comparison. I mean, I watched that high school film, and it's kind of tough to, for me to make that kind of evaluation there. But I will say this, obviously he's got good size, power, strength, speed, runs with a lot of determination. I mean, I think some of those things like running with determination, maybe we didn't see the confidence in some of the running backs at Alabama in that way. Maybe it's partly they lack some vision, But I think when you look at Crowell, he's got it. Like Landrum said, I mean, I think he's got all the tools. He's got the vision, the speed, the power, determination, all of those things. The one thing that we can answer, obviously, is, where is he in terms of doing all the other things without the ball? Because I think that certainly holds guys back sometimes. I think it probably was something that held A.K. Deer back last year. Because let's be honest, most of these guys in high school, what they do is they just take the handoff and run. It's not something that they learn blitz pickups and all the different things that they have to learn. So, how quickly can you learn that this spring? And I think that'll be a real key for him.
I think Crowell, as you're sitting there talking, I pulled up another reel, and the thing that's so crazy about it, he's got great size and great speed, but it's his vision and his cuts at times, and he knows when to cut. That's like you're talking about. Some running backs get it, full head of steam, turn the jets on, but while he's doing that, he looks like a surgeon out there and navigating through defense. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, you watch his tape and you see it. And again, I think he's obviously really confident. And I think, like you said, I mean, with the instincts that he has, the vision that he has, and all the other tools, certainly you look at him and you say, hey, this guy's got a chance to be a difference maker. So it's going to be really interesting to see, because I think, we all agree, we all know there's been a lot of discussion about Alabama's lack of running game and how it needs to improve. And obviously with the hiring of Adrian Clem up front, and maybe shoring up that offensive line and shoring it up personnel-wise too through the portal, and adding some backs. And I think the year that A.K. Deer got in the system certainly going to be helpful to him, because they're going to have to rotate backs to some extent. So, hopefully it all adds up to an improved running game.
So with the ranking system this week, and it's just one specific ranking system, it was Rivals. They had Crowell as a 5-star, and the only other Alabama player that made the cut in their new 5-star rating was Jet Thamala. And I've heard great things about him during the bowl practice and the college football playoff practice sessions. What can you tell us about Jet at the quarterback position? Because I hear a lot of people having glowing things to say about him.
I think one thing that, to me, I always look for, obviously you got the size and all the physical things that he can do, but just kind of how he handles himself, the demeanor that he has, and I think he seems to be really calm, and I think that's important. I mean, I think when I say calm, I mean, I don't think he gets rattled easily, just talking to him, the personality that he has. So I think that's really important. I mean, he's a winner. They won championships up there in Nebraska, in the state of Nebraska. He's set almost every passing record. I mean, you look at him, man. He's 6'5", close to it, somewhere around there. He's 210 pounds. I mean, he's got the size. His mechanics just look, and again, watching it on tape, his mechanics look just almost flawless. I mean, he's very smooth. And he's very athletic. I mean, I think he's more athletic than people realize. And I know we've talked about it on this show before, about you watch him as a basketball player. I mean, he can jump. I mean, he can dunk. I mean, he's a dunking machine. So, I mean, I like everything about him. I can understand why he got bumped up to a 5-star, frankly.
How surprised are you? We were talking about it, that Austin Mack is still on the Alabama roster, when it appeared that there would be several big-time programs that would be interested in his services. And what does that competition look like in the spring with he and Keelan Russell?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I really kind of thought that Austin Mack may hit the portal. I'm not saying I expected it, but I kind of thought it was a real possibility. I mean, he's been with he's going on his 4th year now with the Bohr and Company. So he was with them at Washington and transferred here. He's been here 2 years, going on year 3. And, he came in the bowl game. I thought he handled himself really well. He made some plays. And I thought, here's a guy that could probably start somewhere next year, and it might be at Alabama. We'll see, which kind of leads into your second question there about the competition. I mean, if you listen to what people have said about Keelan Russell, I mean, he's a future superstar. If you listen to he's got that kind of potential. I mean, there's comparisons to Jaden Daniels and to other really good players, quarterbacks that indicate, he's a guy that's got all the tools to be a superstar type player. And I think when Alabama recruited him and got him, they felt like here was a guy that's the future. At the same time, I think there's a lot of excitement about the tools that Austin Mack has, the development that he's had, the way he's stuck with the program. So it's going to be a real interesting. It'll be a real interesting competition in the spring. And you do always wonder. I know he's a true freshman, and he doesn't have the time in the system that the other two guys have. But it'll be interesting to see how Jet Tamala fares as well.
Rodney Orr from Tider Insider joins us every Thursday here on Three Man Front, talking a little Alabama athletics. Let's talk about Charles Bediako, as we now hear this morning that February 6th is going to be the next date in which the hearing will take place to maybe perhaps grant him obviously not a temporary, but obviously a permanent order in which he could play for the rest of the season. In the chaos that you have covered from recruiting, both Alabama football and basketball, in regards to this, does anything surprise you anymore, whether it's Bediako, whether it's Dabo Swinney claiming people are tampering with players? Is there anything at all that surprises you anymore, Rodney, every day on the headlines?
Nothing. Nothing. I mean, we're ever changing, and things are coming up like this, and it's just, you mentioned that Dabo thing, and no, that didn't surprise me, because you know what? We've heard those things behind the scenes were going on, the tampering, and you knew it was coming when we first heard about the portal, that this was all going to happen. It was never going to stop. And now I will say this, and again, I think if I was going to tamper, I'm not sure I would, as a head coach, send a direct text message to the kid.
Is it just because it's so blatant now because they know that the NCAA is out to lunch and it's just like, who's going to stop them? I mean, right? I mean, is that why they're arrogant about it?
Maybe so. Pete kind of does his own thing too. So, but I just, yeah, I think so. And I'm not saying he's the only one that does that, but I thought he could have obviously used a lot better judgment there. And it's just surprising. The kid is enrolled in Clemson in class, and the next thing you know, he's enrolled at Ole Miss. So, this thing is just, it's crazy the way it's working, but it is what it is. You look at Hollywood Smothers, and it's not nearly on that level, but he was committed to Alabama, and it seemed to be set, and they didn't have anything signed on him yet. And next thing you know, his agents got him a better deal at Texas.
Yeah.
So, that's just really the way it works.
Yeah, and you just mentioned it because I brought it up, the Monday after the Dabo Swinney stuff, is what happened with that player. Clemson did not have him signed to an NIL deal. Yes, he was enrolled in school, and he happened to be in a classroom. That was no different than Hollywood Smothers. He was enrolled at the University of Alabama as a student. He wasn't in the class when Steve Sarkisian was sending him text messages about, hey, come to Texas. But it basically was the same scenario, the same situation with Hollywood Smothers. It was just that Kalen DeBoer didn't decide to have a press conference and tell the world about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, well, Dabo is that really doesn't surprise me. Dabo kind of is straightforward like that. And, I have to admit, though, as I was watching it, man, it was kind of wow. This is for him to just come out and say the things and challenge coaches all over the country to step forward and all of these things. I thought that was, that was something that I will say I did not expect to hear all those things.
Well, listen, from a sports talk radio standpoint, we loved it. We were doing backhand screens.
Sure.
We're like going,
You're still playing clips, aren't
absolutely. This is 8.5 minutes of radio gold. Heck yeah. Thank you, Dabo. Appreciate that very much. So anytime we can have that, we're all about it. Well, Rodney, listen, stay warm this weekend. It's going to be another cold one. Always appreciate you joining us here on Three Man Front, and we'll catch up with you again next Thursday.
Okay, guys. Appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you so much. He always joins us on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Takeaways, what Rodney just told us. We'll get to the text line. A lot of your text rolling in. We will read those. Three Man Front continues on Jocks.
11:19 on Jocks. Appreciate Rodney Orr joining us every Thursday on the program. Rob Pate, former Auburn DB, join us coming up at 11:45. A reminder, news this morning came out that Charles Bediaco's eligibility lawsuit against the NCAA, it has now been reassigned to Judge Daniel Pruitt after Jim Roberts, a UA donor, recused himself yesterday. Pruitt is also the judge in the Darius Miles capital murder case. So Bediaco's next hearing, it has been set for February the 6th. Notably, the Alabama basketball team plays on the Plains on February the 7th. So the scheduling means that Bediaco will be able to play Sunday at Florida, Wednesday at home against Texas A&M, and we'll see what happens with his next hearing if he's eligible to be played or being able to play at the Jungle. Can you imagine the fans in the Jungle if Bediaco gets an opportunity to play?
Yeah, I was just thinking of when Will Wade, the fans would dress up in the FBI jackets.
That was good.
That was really good. I'm just thinking, what could you do to be clever as a student section, Conrad, for Bediaco?
I don't know. I would see the age thing doesn't really work because he's not, it's not like Chad Baker Mazar was 27. Like you can't dress up like a grandpa or something.
Maybe
or like have walkers.
Maybe do a play from semi-pro with Jackie Moon in the tropics.
Oh, I would know exactly what you do. You just get everybody to wear jerseys of the G League team that he was playing for 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Like the Tennessee fans who they changed it, but you had Tennessee fans that were urging people to go vote for Bediaco as a G League All-Star.
There you go.
After the Tennessee game.
Auburn students who listen to the show, because we have Auburn students who listen to the show from an Alabama grad, that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
I think that would be. Now, it's probably going to be a little expensive.
You've got time, though. You've got time to order these.
You can do a group buy. I'm sure they'll have discount on. Be like, oh man, we've sold more G League jerseys in this one order than we have in the last 10 years.
Do you think I can get one online right now?
Probably for like $12. I would assume that you could buy G League jerseys.
Let's see. Yeah, it's got the Charles Bediaco. Oh, not paying that.
How much is it?
Golly, I think that was his actual jersey. That one listed for $194.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't see college students going that route.
No. Well, all right, Auburn fans, hold tight.
Okay, here you go. You could go on Fanatics and get one for $59.99.
That's still very pricey for a college student.
It is still very pricey for a college student, but Daddy's credit card will work just fine.
Oh, yeah. You can charge that to your student card, and your parents think you bought a book.
Yeah, use your Tiger Bucks or whatever you
That's
have
what
there.
we did anyways.
Yeah.
How about Crafts? Our show is going to be there next Friday. They got a brand new location right there on 280. It's the old Wendy's, if you're familiar with the area, right next to the Hampton Inn. But Crafts, they have something for everyone. Of course, they have the two other locations, the original location there in Crestline Village, also 7th Avenue South. But the amazing chicken tenders, the brine, the batter, how they do it, second to none. Wings, sandwiches, wraps, bowls, salads. They also have a delicious burger. If you're hankering for a burger, you can get one of those as well. And think about the sides, the homemade macaroni and cheese, the rice and the gravy, all the stick-to-your-ribs goodness that is Crafts. Check it out, and they also have their highly popular frozen cocktails available soon. They got a drive-through there at the 280 store right there in Mountain Brook. Check it out for lunch, for dinner this weekend. It's Crafts. Crafts there on 280. We appreciate it. I always tell them Landrum from Jackson.
Maybe a cheaper route than a jersey. FSU Dave texted, and he says, how about a judge robe?
Oh,
That's a good one. There you go. That's a good one.
Yep. I would assume that you could probably get one relatively cheaper than the $59 G League jersey.
Yeah, I'll call my Yankee fan friends because they have that section that dresses up like judges for every game.
Judge robe, Amazon.
I'm sure you could find that in a toy gavel for cheap.
Yeah, man.
How much is it? $14?
You got the $15 one. Now that says, I don't know, what is the difference in a graduation robe and a judge robe? But the classic judge robe is $59.
Are you serious?
Might as well get the jersey then.
Yep. Halloween 5-piece judge robe. That comes with glasses, gavel, wig.
Yeah, you got to have the wig.
Oh, they're going old school with that one, like Quaker Oats guy.
Yeah. See, and then what you do if you have the fake gavel is, anytime he's at the free throw line, you bang the gavels on the.
Oh, and this is perfect.
stand.
All right, I found one for $15. This is the adult mat, choir robe for church judge, robe, costume, unisex graduation gown.
Yep, that's it. That's a winner.
$14.98, and as it just so happens,
Are you ordering one now?
$5 delivery by Friday, February the 6th.
Do it.
So there you go. For $20, you can have your
Do it.
your outfit ready.
I think Conrad needs to wear one on the day of the hearing.
Yeah.
No?
I don't know about that.
Oh, but
wearing the judge's robe?
you'll use somebody else's toothbrush, but you won't wear a judge's robe.
Are you gonna pay me $200?
I mean, we'll open it up to
To wear a
your
judge's
Venmo.
robe?
Well, he was bringing up the toothbrush, and
Oh.
I feel like we oftentimes forget that I didn't just do that for free.
No, you did it because you're a freak.
We like to think that you did it for free.
I would have, but I also got money for it. So
Hey, the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I think about that every time I brush my teeth and I gag.
so twice a day, you think about that?
So thank you.
Hopefully twice a day.
Yes.
Pro Football Hall of Fame, they are clapping back. They released a statement on media reports related to the Hall of Fame class of 2026. Says the Pro Football Hall of Fame understands and respects the passionate reaction of many fans, media members, and enshrinees of the Hall itself in light of published reports regarding the voting results of the class of 2026. It's that very passion that propels the game. The Hall also respects the members of the selection committee when they follow the selection process bylaws. It's an honor to serve as a selector. They go on to say each year, the Hall reviews the selection process and the composition of the 50-person selection committee. It is determined that any member or members violated the selection process bylaws, they understand action will be taken. That can include the possibility that such selector would not remain a member of the committee moving forward. The selection of a new class is the most important duty the Hall of Fame oversees each year, and the integrity of that process cannot be in question. So in other words, those people out there that are leaking to the media that Bill Belichick did not make the first vote, you are in violation, and we find out who you are, you're off the selection committee. We're going to ban you. That's their statement.
Yeah, but still, are you gonna take that same stance if you've got other voters that voted for Belichick that know that there was an inherent bias in why guys didn't vote for him?
They just don't like their business being, the dirty laundry aired. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. So you don't get chastised and raked over the coals by everybody in the national media.
I mean, listen, ESPN.
I never would have thought, because Bill Belichick, let's just say that his reputation, maybe his image, a little bit tarnished since the Brady years and all of that. Well, I think North Carolina, but you have to separate. You have to separate his accomplishments, what he did as a coach.
Yeah, and he just didn't go out on a very high note on the professional level.
The professional level, being passed over for multiple NFL jobs, the 24-year-old girlfriend, North Carolina football is train wreck. Seems like it is. That doesn't help, but he should have been voted for.
Well, they are taking this very seriously on these leaks. They're going to find out who did it. Listen, ESPN, when they broke the story, I mean, they went live. I mean, they were wall to wall in regards to Bill Belichick not getting the first ballot Hall of Fame.
You just want you would hate that because of pettiness or whatever you get left off the ballot. But there's no promise for any of us for tomorrow. So for that person to have to wait for the next vote, and let's just say, heaven forbid, his time's up, her time's up, they don't get to enjoy it.
So I thought this was interesting
because you were petty and you wanted to say, "No, let him wait a few more years."
So Pat, I think it was you that brought this up yesterday, and how the voting process of, you brought up the idea of somebody might not vote for Belichick, not necessarily because they don't think he deserves to be in, but they wanted to vote for somebody whose name is about to come off of the ballot, correct? So apparently the first person has come forward that did not vote for Belichick and has publicly declared that they were one of the people that didn't vote for him. It is, I guess, Gregorian?
Yes.
Of the Kansas City Star.
Yep.
And so he wrote an article kind of explaining why. And so I'm going to read you. This is what he wrote.
I hope he enjoys his time voting for the Pro Football Hall of Fame because
Yeah.
I guarantee he won't be voting next year.
Well,
Sorry, Vay.
for his final vote, he explained why he didn't vote for Belichick. Quote, "In fact, I didn't vote against Bill Belichick or Robert Kraft, but I voted for the 3 senior candidates, Ken Anderson, Roger Craig, and Elsie Greenwood. You could call that rationalizing, I suppose, and I'm suddenly reminded of the fortune cookie wisdom that you should never try to explain since your friends don't need it and your enemies won't believe you anyways." End of quote. So
It's good.
he basically admits that's what you brought up yesterday. I think he deserves to be in, but I wanted these guys who
had maybe this is their last shot before they go into the minutia
Yep.
of committee and whether they're going to be able to be in there or not.
And
so.
and Vay, if that's why he voted that way, I respect it. I just don't. You're not going to be able to convince me that the other folks that did not vote for him, there was not a couple that didn't have a bias.
And again, I go back to, I understand if you want somebody on their last year, you feel like they're deserving of a vote, and you voted for them every year they've been on the ballot. I get that. But I would also argue that being a first ballot Hall of Famer, that is an accomplishment. And that's not something that you should take away from somebody that you think is worthy of that honor for someone else.
This isn't
That's
a
just
guy
my
that
opinion.
had one season with a quarterback and won a Super Bowl.
No, he's the greatest, arguably the greatest football coach ever. I mean, bare minimum, he's in the top 5.
Is there a Hall of Fame that Nick Saban's still waiting on?
No, he's already in the College
Is
Football
he in
Hall
all
of
of
Fame.
them?
Well, see, I'm like, could you imagine Urban Meyer not getting it? I think all of us agree maybe he's not the best person in the world. He deserves to be in the College Football Hall of Fame. Like, you're not going to leave him out because you don't like certain things about, in my opinion, that wouldn't happen.
We talk incessantly about it. I mean, Ty Cobb was one of the most disgusting human beings you're going to find anywhere, and he's in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just
Yeah.
can't get
Any
any
Hall of
worse
Fame.
than him.
Mm-hmm.
More 3-man front. Rob Pate comes up in about 15 minutes here on Jocks.
11:34, three-man front. Landrum, Pat, Conrad, and Molly. Rodney Orr. Earlier this hour, any portion of that you can find at the podcast, talksfm.com. Rob Pate talking Auburn coming up in just a moment. Speaking of Auburn, one happy Auburn fan. 4 in a row, Don. Big win over Texas last night. How are you today?
I'm good, guys. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Okay, well, actually, hey, we do need to get that road for Landrum. Landrum be a perfect judge. I'm not Landrum. I'm sorry. Conrad. Crimson Conrad would look great in the conference.
Yes, he would.
In that road.
Yes.
Yeah, but no.
I'd be a bailiff.
Hey, Pat, I got a question, buddy. Please tell me you didn't have Auburn minus 6.5 last night.
I actually had Texas, and I also had the. No, that was all I had for
The
that
over?
game. No, I did not do the. I did the over in the Georgia game.
Okay, well, there you go. That one caused the overtime, right?
Correct. Yeah, it was not going to hit in regulation. It was 72-72, which was obviously 144 points. I needed 159.
Well, actually, if you had did you get Texas at 6.5?
I did.
Oh, that missed free throw. That missed free throw got it for you, didn't it?
And the reason I played it honestly is because Brian Edwards yesterday.
Yeah.
That was one of his picks.
He liked Texas plus the 6.5 or 7.
Yeah. He liked Texas in the points, not Texas to win. And I said, you know what? Brian knows this stuff a lot better than I do in regards to the betting angle. So I played it.
He didn't do too good on Saturday when we went down to Gainesville and won for the first time since 1996.
Well, you know what?
I heard him talking about
Who wouldn't
I
have?
heard him talking about that the other day.
Who wouldn't have bet though the way that they did? That Florida team was a 9.5, 10-point favorite. I think it ended up going off at like 11.5. But you lose 30 straight? No. Did you expect that to happen, Don?
No. When I did the Saturday morning show, I was telling all the Florida friends, Lee from Cincinnati and PG and everything, you guys gonna kill us today. No.
1996 was a
not.
long time ago. But yeah, that was a big win last night. Now you look at it, Don. I was telling them 5-3 in conference play. You got 10 conference games left. You got some of the bottom of the SEC in the standings left on that schedule. So even if you go 5-5, you're still sitting at an over 500 conference record. And given the 1-3 start, I think you'd take that if you're Stephen Pearl.
Absolutely. I think Landrum didn't 2 or 3 teams last year go to the tournament at 8-10. Wasn't Georgia and Vanderbilt 8-10 last year and went?
It seems right. Pat, do you remember we had some sub 500 SEC teams that made the tournament? I would think we did, just the number of teams that we had.
Yeah, the only 2 that didn't make it was South Carolina and LSU.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I think we're in good shape on that, but I don't want to be in that 8-9 game. That would mean we'd have to play the number 1 seed the second game if we won. Don't want to be in that. But, hey, real quickly, because I know you guys got to go, but Landrum, I looked up the kid we were talking about yesterday, Trevon Mitchell, and I forgot he is a transfer from South Florida. I'm hearing we could get him in the summertime, and I looked up his stats. He had 29 tackles and 2 sacks, defensive tackle. So he would be a good depth piece.
Okay.
Well, guys, as usual, great show and everything, and looking forward to hearing Rob Pate in a few minutes.
Thank you so much, Don. We are too.
So did they make the tournament last year as well?
Yeah.
So them and Texas both went 6-12 in conference play and made the tournament.
I'm looking at that right now. Wow, 6-12. You had Vandy, Georgia, Mississippi State, Arkansas all went 8-10.
Arkansas went 8-10, made it to the Elite 8.
Yeah. I mean, LSU and South Carolina, the only 2 that did not make it.
Yeah, and they were, 3-15, 2-16. They were terrible. But, yeah, you had 2 teams go, a 333 winning percentage in conference play last year, and they made the tournament. It's wild.
You had 126 wins between 4 teams last year in the conference.
Yeah, you had 3 30-win teams. With Tennessee, Florida, and Auburn.
Basketball, baseball, softball. That's this conference now.
Football, what's that?
It's just a moneymaker.
We're getting into flag football now?
It keeps us occupied in the fall.
Yeah, you've got 2 SEC teams playing in the Fiesta Bowl in April.
Yeah, we're worried about that. How's SEC soccer doing? Are we good at that? I don't know.
205-834-9450. The text line is open. This starting to catch up. Yep. Thank you, FSU Dave and others that recommended that Auburn student section in the jungle, they should dress up in judge robes when Bediako and the Tide, we assume that Bediako gets cleared by the judge February the 6th. What would something that Auburn fans could do? Conrad actually came up with a great idea, the Bediako G League jersey, but then FSU Dave said, how about a judge's robe?
A little more cost effective, a little more on the nose, maybe.
Max says if you're some guy screen printing T-shirts out of your basement in Auburn, you can make a fortune right now.
That is true.
And I would imagine, I would think that the student section or whoever the leader of their student section is, they're probably putting something like this together already.
There is one that I really wanted to get to.
What, text?
Oh, yeah. Here it is.
Oh, is this the one? Are you about to yell?
Maybe.
I just want to make sure I need to turn my headphones down. Because I think Landry was about to go cray.
Well, this is from Sean.
Okay.
He took time to text it, so we're going to read it.
Okay.
So the fact that players like the coach and the coach is emotionally invested in some players equaled how many wins this past 2 years? How many third and shorts did it convert, Conrad? How many times did it get the defense off the field on third down, Pat? 0. That number is freaking 0. Until I start seeing a culture of expecting excellence from all sides, the University of Alabama Athletics Department, I can't see it as nothing more than a joke. Overpaid adults playing games with overpaid athletes' futures. Mic drop. I added the mic drop. And I added your names at the end.
I'm going to have to start texting in under a different name.
There you go.
Whew, that sounds like somebody that really doesn't like that things are more competitive now. Which I understand, right? As an Alabama fan, it's maybe not fun because it's benefited a lot of people and not you, but that's... If you can't find a single positive thing to say about the Alabama... I mean, come on, dude. They just made the playoff, won a playoff game. Like, unfortunately, you're not entitled to winning a championship every year. Personally, I think it's more enjoyable not to win one every single year because there needs to be some variance. I feel really sorry for that person. Also, if you're the kind of person that's going to take the time to write that out and probably cry in your bedroom about Alabama football, then I would probably tell you to grow up a little bit. It's not that deep.
Text coming in. UAB Blazers been really good recruiting in the portal season. Yep. They have been. Coach Alex Mortensen, that staff, got a good roster of talent that they've been able to bring in from Power Fours and beyond.
Yeah, they have done really well. I was looking at this yesterday. Had this in my award-winning Green and Gold report last night during halftime.
That was one of your better ones.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
I appreciate that. I put a lot of work into it.
I could tell.
So I do appreciate that very much.
I can tell when you half-a it.
The Blazers, the 4th-ranked transfer class in the American Conference, and the 8th-ranked transfer class in the non-power conferences.
Actually, I talked to Coach Mortensen this morning. He's out on the road recruiting. Imagine that. I'm excited about it.
So they've done really well. 41 additions out of the transfer portal for UAB football.
Got some really, really good pieces.
Mm-hmm.
You got to replace some really good pieces, though. Iverson Hooks, he's going to be playing for Dan Lanning.
Yep.
Out there in Eugene, where the grass is always greener. And so is the money, apparently.
Rob Pate joins us next, former Auburn DB, every Thursday here on the program. He joins us next.
11:47, three-man front on this Thursday. We'll continue to get to the text line as the show rolls on. A lot of talk about Charles Bediako, little basketball, college football, transfer portal, and coaching news as well. We'll keep you up to date on that. You're not going to miss anything listening here to Three-Man Front. And Jocks all day long. Rob Pate, former Auburn defensive back, current entrepreneur, eye doctor, grandfather, father, loving husband, pillar of the community, joining us now. Hey, Rob.
Hey, guys. How are y'all doing?
We're doing great. How are you? How are things there at Sweet Frog with all these sub-zero temperatures?
It depends on the student's schedule. And sometimes like basketball games that run late because of all the fouling and things. So it's been good. I mean, it's when the students are in session, we stay pretty busy. When the students go home for things like spring break and in the summer, then it's definitely slowed. But it's been so cold. You can come in and get frozen yogurt, and it actually can probably increase your body temperature a little bit.
Has Golish, the staff, Byram Brown, has it been a who's who of Auburn players walking through your doors?
Not. I don't think that I've seen Coach Golish. I have not seen Byram Brown. The turnover of the roster is so severe that a lot of these guys probably don't know their way to the Haley Center yet, let alone, where Sweet Frog is. But I hope we can get that changed. So we got to get those guys in. We had a lot of basketball players that came in last year, which was pretty neat because they actually stayed around and paid for everybody that was in there that day. So it was really a cool moment when that happened.
That is really cool. All right, so the transfer portal, all teams are continuing to do work. We're also getting coaches like Dabo Swinney go nuclear in regards to this new world of college football. Does any of this surprise you, Rob, at the depths that now we're in when it comes to recruiting, especially in the transfer portal?
I think I said last time I was on with you guys that nothing really surprises me now because of just how society is at this point, and kind of no holds barred, anything goes. If it's good for me, then, whatever our traditions or whatever, our typical norms are, even what the rules say, we'll just flout those. And so you see that pretty significantly. I mean, the inability to go out and talk to kids that are already on teams and how that's, obviously not a thing. I mean, head coaches are sending kids, what we saw with Ole Miss, and I mean that's there's no code of ethics anymore. I've seen a lot of coaches come out and say, my job is to win games, and therefore that means if I can find a rule, I will see how far I can bend it, if not shatter it. And yeah, you need to win games. But man, we also need some ethics and some guardrails and people to, win at all cost. I'm an ultra competitor. I want to win almost any way I can if I can do it within the bounds of what's legal, and there's just no thought process like that. It seems like from anybody in any sport anymore, almost in anything in life. And, and so you see the price being paid because of that mindset in college sports right now.
I was asking Pat because, we hear about culture and coaches, especially new coaches taking over and instilling culture. But you also think about the culture that is the transfer portal. And a lot of these guys, they're thinking of it as maybe a 6-9 year deal. And then what is my next big deal? You understand it because you've been in those locker rooms. Now, it was pre-NIL and transfer portal era, but can you imagine how tough it is, especially at a place like Auburn or Alabama, to instill culture when you've got a lot of guys who are kind of viewing it that way? And I can't say that I really blame them.
No, I think that's probably one of the most difficult aspects of coaching. I mean, the most difficult has to be just the fact that you're paying these players what you are. And, I guess a lot of coaches say, it's not my money. So it doesn't really affect me personally, but having to re-recruit your team every semester and, just the the monotony of that, the time you have to spend, and just not being able to plan forward. I mean, it literally, you have 3 or 4 or 5 month increments that you can plan for, knowing that who you have available, and then beyond that, it's a toss up, and that part has to be the most disorienting and frustrating for any of the coaches, and and I know they get paid handsomely, and I know that if you don't evolve, then you're going to be left behind. You're going to be left without a job, and so there's obviously that aspect of it. But man, just the inability to rein any of this in, and the inability for any governing authority to have any backbone. I mean, there's no commentary. There's no voice out there. When things happen that are obviously not as the rules intended, and that it just breeds more and more contempt for it, and it breeds contempt from the fans, and it sort of draws you away from the just caring as much. Although we say that, but we all still watch, and I think I saw that the national championship was the highest rated national championship game of all time. So it just, it's a tough dichotomy, but it's, I guess the older, we're all old people yelling at people to get off our lawn at this point, and I guess the younger people are hey, this is just the new age and how it's done, and this is what they think that is normal, and it is the new norm.
And for this Alex Golesh coaching staff coming in, the however many new players that they have coming in via the portal and the signing class. Not saying that it's a culture, but you do question, after the lack of success with Auburn, how many Auburn fans are maybe apathetic? Is that maybe the first thing that Coach Golesh can address, and we know how you fix that, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, the win-loss column is where it matters, and Auburn people are hungry for a winner. I mean, Auburn people want to get behind and support something that, one, I think they just want to feel like they have coaches that have the demeanor and the wherewithal to feel like that, hey, they really want this job and they want to be successful and they want to do, the necessary things it takes to win. And, they want to see good decisions. They want to see good adjustments and obviously teams that are well prepared when they show up on game day. And, so far in the CEO role, I think Alex Golesh has been really good. He's dotted the I's and crossed the T's and looks the part. We can only go from what we've seen in other places, what the game day experience will be like. And hopefully, it looks a lot like it did when he was the offensive coordinator at Tennessee, that we get those type of results. But I think they've done a really good job with the hand that they've been dealt with all the transfers that sort of ejected themselves out of here. And then those guys standing firm in the player evaluations and not overpaying for guys. I think that they've built enough players to be competitive and to hopefully make a crack at it this year and get on the winning side of things.
Are you going to be in a judge's robe in the Jungle student section when Alabama comes calling? They're at Neville Arena next Saturday.
I don't know, man. I haven't been to a basketball game in a while. I'd love to do it, but I'm not going to stand out there and freeze to try to get in, and then. But we'll see, man. I hope that we can get it done.
All right. Rob, we always appreciate it. Thank you. Stay warm this weekend.
All
we'll
right,
talk
guys.
to you next week.
Y'all too, guys. War Eagle.
Rob Pate joining us, Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham's your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services. 12 o'clock hour. It's always a fun one. It's next.